Hello, everybody. It's lovely to see you again. Teddy and I are back with some more stories, and it's a lovely sunny day here in Bangor on the coast of County Down. And Teddy was reminding me that even though we've been telling you stories for 2 weeks, we haven't told you any stories from Ireland yet, or even any of the little rhymes that we learned when we were just growing up. But before we start, I do want to say a very happy birthday to two very special girls. Esther and Maria, I heard you were just 1 year old last month. Your grandma Betty was telling me. So happy birthday, girls, and I'm glad you like the stories. And Teddy's going to give you a special wave. Hello. So we've got some stories and songs today. Now, the other person we want to say hello to is much farther away. He lives over in Pittsburgh, in Pennsylvania, and that's Christopher Callahan. So, Christopher, Tom Griffin, your cousin, was telling me you like to listen to the stories, and it's so nice to hear. So, I hope you like the ones we have today. Well, if you look behind us, you can see I have a picture of some of the boats down in the old harbour in Bangor. And one of our most well-known rhymes that we loved here is called the Bangor boat. I have a little tiny boat to show you, so we'll put it up here for everybody to see. The Bangor boat long ago used to bring passengers down from Belfast, and they would come down on hot summer days and just enjoy being at the seaside. So we're going to sing it to you now. Are you ready, Teddy? Bangor boat's away, it has no time to stay. One in a rush, two in a rush, the Bangor boat's away. Now it's a very short little rhyme, and you can actually do it sometimes if you're playing with a child or even your own teddy bear, and you can pretend you're in the boat. So we're going to see if we can do this. Hold on tight, Teddy, don't fall into the water, and we're going to go rowing in the boat. 1, 2, 3. Bangor boat's away, it has no time to stay. One in a rush, two in a rush, the Bangor boat's away. You feeling a bit wobbly? Maybe we'll put you back there. Don't get seasick. There, now you're back on dry land, and we'll have the story. Can everybody see the little boat? So what else do we have? Oh, I wanted to tell you one more little rhyme. There are lots of rhymes that just come from Northern Ireland. This is a great little book. It's called What Do You Feed Your Donkey On? And it has all kinds of stories and rhymes that we learned growing up. And I'm going to just show you one in here. And anybody from Belfast or Bangor or close by who's listening, I know you'll know this. I'll sing it for you. My Aunt Jane, she called me in. She gave me tea out of her wee tin. Half a bap with sugar on the top. 3 black lumps out of her wee shop. And the shop is here. There it is. And the words are right here. Can you see? I'll put them on the screen and we can sing it together. My Aunt Jane, she called me in. She gave me tea out of her wee tin. Half a bap, sugar on the top. 3 black lumps out of her wee shop. So maybe we'll have some more of those special rhymes next time. Now, before we start our story, the story is called A Field of Boliauns. And a boliaun is a flower, well, a weed really, that grows in the fields over here late in the summer. They have these lovely tall spikes full of yellow flowers, and you'll see them growing everywhere. The story also has a tricky leprechaun. And I have a couple of tricky little leprechauns who are going to listen, because I think they always enjoy hearing this story because they were able to save their gold. So the story is called The Field of Boliauns. And here it is. One fine day in the harvest time, Tom Fitzpatrick took a ramble down the lane. Click, clack, click, clack, he heard through the hedge. So Tom tiptoed closer to take a look. The clacking sound stopped when Tom peeped through the bushes, and in the shadow, what did he see? Why, a big gallon pitcher and a teeny tiny man with a brown leather apron and 3-cornered hat. Up the small man climbed on his wee wooden stool, and dipped his little cup into the crock. And then he settled down with his mug beside him to hammer on the heel of a fairy-sized shoe. Well, thought Tom, it's a leprechaun. If I catch him and scare him, he'll give me his gold. And since I'm a clever fellow, that should be simple. Before the sun sets, I'll have my fortune made. Tom stared at the leprechaun and tried not to blink. He knew that if he looked away, the wee man would escape. So he crept up closer and said, "Good day to you, and blessings on your work." "Thank you kindly," said the leprechaun, but he never looked up. He just kept on working away at the heel of the shoe. Tom moved a bit closer and said, "Today's a holiday. You shouldn't have to work." "That's my business, not yours," said the wee man. "Instead of pestering me, young fella, you should be watching your father's fields. Look over there. The cows have got into the oats. See, they're knocking the corn all about." Cows in the cornfield? Tom's head started to turn. But he wasn't fooled by the leprechaun's trick. Quickly he grabbed the sly fellow. "Now, you're my prisoner. Tell me, where's your gold?" Oh, the leprechaun wiggled and twisted and whined. "I haven't got any gold," he said. But Tom held him tight. "You and I both know that's not true," he said. And he made a fierce, frightening face at the leprechaun. Finally, the leprechaun stopped squirming and said, "Tom Fitzpatrick, you're too clever for me. I see you're after my buried treasure, so I'll have to show you where it's hidden." And with his eye on the wee man still held tight in his fist, Tom went where the leprechaun led him. He traipsed over a hill and under some hedges, through a ditch and across a peat bog, and at last, just when he feared he'd been tricked, he found himself in a great field of weeds. A whole field of these. "Dig there," said the leprechaun, pointing to a bush. "Deep under that bouillon is where I have my gold." "But," said Tom, "there's 40 acres of bouillons here. I'll have to go home and get my spade, and when I return I'll be lost. I won't know which one is the right one." While still watching the leprechaun, Tom thought of a plan. He took a bit of bright red ribbon out of his pocket and he tied it on the bush. And then he said, "Now swear, you old rascal, that you won't take this off while I go back home to get my spade." "That I will promise," the fairyman replied. And Tom smiled because he knew leprechauns always keep their word. "Now," said the leprechaun, "since I've shown you where the treasure is, I don't suppose you'll need me any more." "No," said Tom, "my fortune's made. You may go, and good luck go with you." "Then goodbye, Tom Fitzpatrick. May you do much good with what you find." And away Tom ran home as fast as he could go, thinking of all the ways he'd spend that gold. And back he came with his spade in his hand, back to the field of bouillons. But when he got there, didn't he find a red ribbon on each and every bush, as far as he could see? Tom dug under the bush where he thought he'd tied the ribbon, but there was nothing there. So he dug under another and another. He dug to the east and he dug to the west, and still he found no treasure. The harvest moon rose as he dug to the north, and it set as he dug southwards. And by the time the sun came up, Tom Fitzpatrick saw that he'd dug 100 holes, and he knew he wouldn't find the gold. So he gave up and headed for home. But from that day on, Tom always carried his spade, and he never stopped listening for a tapping in the field. Because, as he liked to tell everybody who he met, the next time I see that leprechaun, I'll have my fortune made. Well, I think now, Teddy, maybe we deserve a cup of tea after those stories. We're going to be back on Wednesday, and you know, Wednesday is Earth Day. So we're going to have some stories and rhymes to do with the earth. And I was just thinking, if you have any favorite rhymes that you'd like Teddy and me to do, just tell us in the comments on Facebook. Ask your mom or dad or big brother and sister to drop a little note. And if you have a favorite one, we'll learn it for you and we'll say it for you. So I need my tea as well. There's a cup for you, Teddy, a cup for me. And then I think we'll go outside for a walk while the sun is still shining. Bye, everybody. See you on Earth Day.